Hello and welcome. In this video, I will explain how to customize the contact page. Click on the contact page to open it up. The main component of the contact page is the contact form. This contact form here is a built-in Adobe Muse widget. If we go over to the widget library, you can find the contact form by expanding the Forms folder and then selecting the Simple Contact form. This simple contact form might appear a bit complex as we will get into it. So the form, if you hover over it, you see this dotted ants around this form, and that shows the entirety of the form. If you click on it, you can expand the options, and there are quite a few options. However, for our simple contact form, we just need an email, name, and also a place for your user to enter a message. You can add additional fields by checking, say, cell phone number, website, work address, or any of these other checkboxes, and you can also add a CAPTCHA to protect your form. And if you ever add one of these, well, then you have to configure additional options and also find a place to drag and drop it into your form. But that is beyond the scope of this video, so let's undo that. The main control mechanism for this form is the email to. This is who the form will be sent to, and you can enter your own personalized email into this form, and whenever your user uses it, you will receive their message at that email. If you have multiple forms, if you place another one, then you can rename this form, but contact form is good. Okay, let's go on and talk about the other components of this form and somewhat about their customization and how they work. So very clearly you can see that there is a name, email, and message fields, and if you click on them, then you can drag and also reposition them wherever you want. If they also have their own options, if you click on that, you can see that they have additional configurations that you can check. They currently, the form has a require entry and also show prompt text when empty. You will want to require entry for your most basic components such as the email and message, because you want your user to include those and not submit an empty form. For the show prompt text when empty, basically that shows the name. That tells the user that they should enter a name in that field. Finally, there are the additional parts that you can add. If you enable label and enable message text, well then you have additional components here. For example, this label that you can add, and also the required message. And these have their own custom options too. And the label, you can type something in there and give your form field a name, but we already have that in this placeholder text when empty, so we don't need any of that. But you can add it if you so feel like it. Alright, that's all there is to this form. It's not very complicated. To get it working, the only thing you have to change is to enter your server, your email on your website. And then when the user clicks the submit button, it will appear, they will receive a form message, thank you, form submitted, or in another states, if there's a submit in progress, they'll see that while it's submitting. And if there's an error, they will see the message, an error occurred, please try again. Let's go take a look at the form in the mobile format. So looking at this, you might think that it looks a bit weird, and it does. The form is in the center of this huge box here, and why didn't I make the form expand to fill the entire box? That's a good question. The reason is because Adobe Muse has a certain limitation when it comes to their built-in forms. Their built-in forms are not responsive, which means that this width of the form and the entire format of the form is static no matter how you resize the page. So if I had made this form fill the entire content area, it would not work well on a mobile browser. Instead, in the mobile layout, the form is exactly 320 pixels wide. The reason for this is because the minimum width of the browser page that this template allows is 320. So this way, the form appears perfectly on any web browser, even on a mobile phone that has a very narrow screen. Well, there you have it. That's the Get in Touch, the contact page, and it provides a great way for your users to send a message to you and is very easy to configure as well.